All right. We're live. You know what that means? Maybe you don't know what that means, but I'll show you. We're going to do our little go live pep rally. All right. It just gets me every time. I don't know why. It just that rhythm really stirs something up in me. No matter how many times I do it, I find that it's effective. Hello, thank you for being here. Welcome to Voice Chats with Malika. My name is Malika Amandi, and I am the founder of the Center for Women's Voice, where I help women communicate without apologizing or overanalyzing. I do this through executive coaching and through facilitating workshops. And this month, we are exploring power in all of its manifestations and the ways that it relates to our voice, the way we use our voice. Um, Today, I want to talk about personal power. Personal power is huge, all right? As an executive coach, my role is not to give you advice or frameworks or tips. Those things can happen, of course. But the highest value of my service is to help you connect to your personal power. We don't have a lot of spaces where we can do this in our lives, especially if you identify as a woman. And in fact, we have many, many forces encouraging us to give away our power or to pretend that it doesn't exist at all. So the more spaces we have to connect to ourselves on our deepest, most potent level, um, the more power we can experience in our lives. I have created an event specifically to help you connect to your power. This is a quarterly experience that I host called Ritual Release and Renew. It's coming up this Saturday. This is a guided reflection experience to give you the space to, yeah, to connect to the things that make you powerful. And I'll kind of explain a little bit more as we go through it, but I just want to seed that. Um, there will be a link in the comments if you want to find out more about that. If you want to sign up, it's not too late. It's this Saturday, and if you cannot join live, it will be available for a full week to participate in that. So I want to explore three pillars of personal power. Oh, I love the alliteration. I have to say it again. I didn't do that on purpose. That's just how it came out, but it is a nice phrase. Three pillars of personal power. There may be other elements of power that come up for you, but these are what are rising to the surface for me today. So the first pillar of personal power is desire. What do I want? That is such an important question that we often do not take the time to ask or to answer. What you desire is so unique to you, your values, your upbringing, your um, what you are creating, your preferences. It's like a DNA print on your your presence or your essence. And it's something that we often don't make space for. But it's so valuable to stay connected to that question. What do I want? What do I want uh, to do today? What do I want to experience this month? What do I want to feel this year? What do I want and how do I want to feel? These are such useful questions to kind of return to again and again. What you want might change over time, and that's fine, but it is up to you to understand what you want. It is not about looking to the culture, looking to advertisers, though that's kind of how ads are conditioned, right? They tell us what we want or what we're supposed to need. Um, But really coming from yourself, what do you want? Often we are really plugged into what we should do or what we need to do, right? I should go for this promotion. I should do this. I should blah blah blah. But what do you want? There's like an element of kind of joy and freedom that comes in under that desire banner um, that is so important for us to connect to. I had a conversation with a woman yesterday, and she was sharing with me her kind of career trajectory until this point. And, there were several points in the conversation where she said something to the effect of, yeah, this opportunity was given to me. I didn't really want to do it, but it seemed like a good thing. So I went ahead and then I was promoted and then another stage, well, I wasn't really looking for this thing. I didn't want it, but then it happened. And so now that's what I'm doing. And there was this pattern of um, her moving into roles and positions that other people had kind of designated her for. And she could kind of acknowledge passively, I didn't want that. And it never turned around to now I want it, now that I have it. It was just a thing that had unfolded. And at some point in the conversation, we got to talking about her vision for kind of why she was interested in coaching or what her goal was. And, a little sheepishly, she shared that she wanted some time to work on her own projects, her own kind of personal projects that had nothing to do with career and kind of helping her understand why she was in the industry she was in. She had a sense that there were things she wanted to create and make, but she was so kind of out of touch from that. But she felt like, well, that's not really a concrete goal. And I was like, wait, hold on. That is a concrete goal. You're saying you want to make time to do the things you want. That's huge, especially when you have this uh, kind of legacy of not doing what you want and being moved into things that other people want you to do. It's no wonder you're craving that space. And yes, that is worthy. That is a great way a great reason to invest in yourself, to really carve out that space to do what you want. So we are trained that what we want is kind of secondary to maybe what other people need from us or demand from us. And I think that that lesson creates some dissonance in us because on a certain level we know we kind of want to pay attention to what we want, but it's always like coming at the end of the line. Um, so really any opportunity you can have to come into focus with what you want is going to serve you. Um, this could be just personally checking in with yourself and making sure that you are staying close to what it is that you want, that you're aware of it. And it's not even always about getting what you want, but you can't get it if you don't know what it is. So it's important to stay connected to your desire. What do you want? How do you want to feel? That's pillar number one. All right. Pillar number two, agency. What can I change? So often in this month that we've been exploring power, I will use power and agency interchangeably. That's how closely related these these concepts are. Agency is your ability to change a situation, to impact a circumstance, to shift, to pivot. Agency is about resilience. It's about your um, ability to take what you're given and do something with it, maybe different than what you thought or what the inevitable thing was. Um, Agency is about co-creating your life with the universe or the forces, whatever your belief is. It's saying that there are things that I can impact and that I can change. So I think when we think about our own agency, often we forget that we have this ability to shift or change or pivot. I think one of the most useful ways to reconnect to our own agency is to review the past, to look to points in our lives when we made a shift, when something was going a certain way and we decided, you know what, actually, that doesn't feel right for me. So I'm going to go in this direction. The more kind of focus we can lend to those moments, the more the more in touch we are with that aspect of our power. And it can be very easy in the face of something difficult to feel trapped, to feel like, oh, well, there's nothing I can do. I have no agency here. I'm trapped. I'm stuck. Um, there's nothing, there's no way to move forward. I'm just at the mercy of whatever. And that's just not always true. Agency is about tapping into your own resourcefulness. Even if it's just a little tiny adjustment that you can make, it's a mind shift adjustment that you can make. It's something very, maybe somebody on the outside might not notice, but you know, and you know why you're making this change. That is powerful. Our ability to shift things. So, um, really staying connected to what can I change? I had an experience of this early in the year. There was a contract I was so sure I was going to get, and I didn't get it. And I had planned out the year based on working with this particular company, and things just went in a different direction. And I had, uh, a little mini crisis around feeling stuck. And I wish I had known this information earlier. Now, I've made these things and I'm kind of locked in different ways. And the reality is, other people are allowed to change their mind too in life. And that is not, my identity is not wrapped up in that. My security is not wrapped up in that. And so I had to pivot. I had to kind of come up with a different strategy for the year. And I've done it. It was not easy necessarily, but it is something that I have the ability to do as an entrepreneur running my own business. And that's certainly a position of privilege. You might say, well, the ability to change things, that is a privileged position, and it is a privilege. It is also very powerful. So really connecting to where in your life that you have the decision making power to shift or change something. The third pillar of personal power is time. How do you experience time? Now, time is one of those things that, there's a lot of sayings. Time is the great equalizer. I think that's a saying that we see time as this giant umbrella that everybody is just under, and um, that there's no agency in the way that you relate to it necessarily. That's not true. This is something that is kind of a newer concept for me that I've only learned in the past year or so. And this really came about from I was reading The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Highly recommend. He has this section where he talks about Newtonian time versus Einstein time. Now, I am not a time expert. I will give you that. I am not a time expert. But this concept really, really hit me in a powerful way. So I want to share it with you. I also want to acknowledge that Newton and Einstein are not the only people who have concepts around time. This is a lens into a Western perspective, two different Western perspectives on time. I know other cultures have fully formed theories around time. I'm just not as in touch with them. So just that's the caveat there. So Newtonian time, stay with me here. This is going to be relevant, okay? Newtonian time is the way that uh, many of us relate to time, which is this idea that time is finite. It's going to run out. Time is not on your side. It is just slipping away, slipping away, slipping away. And you have got to kind of rush to keep up with time. There are only so many hours in the day. There are only so many days in a week and a month and a year. And we are just always up against the clock. Time just keeps moving forward. It doesn't stop for anybody. It just goes. And we have to scramble. That's the Newtonian concept of time. Einstein's concept of time is that time is relative. Time expands or contracts depending on what it is that you're doing and how you feel about the way you were spending that time. So if you are holding your hand over a flame, then time is going to pass very slowly because you're in an extreme amount of pain. If you are having a romantic conversation with your partner, time is going to pass very quickly because you have kind of expanded to fill up that time. And so it does not, you're taking up more space than time is, uh, you're taking up more space. So time feels more luxurious. It also goes by quickly versus when you're in pain and you're trying to like make things go fast. It tends to slow down, right? So, depending on what you're doing, the quality of time is how we actually experience time, not on this objective kind of fixed scale. If you subscribe to Einstein's theory of time, then time is fluid. It's not this kind of relentless machine moving forward. You get to dictate how you relate to time based on how you feel about what it is that you're doing. So when you are present, you can experience time differently. And this lines up with a lot of, mindfulness concepts that you might be familiar with. Einstein time is very powerful. It gives us back the control. We are not at the mercy of time. In fact, we create time. You could even say, I am time. This is huge. This is a really big shift uh, if you can grasp it. So I think the way to apply this in your life and to connect to the personal power around it is pay attention to the way that you speak about time. Language is such a huge piece of our experience and our understanding of a thing, the way we talk about it, the way we describe it. Are you using words or phrases like I don't have enough time for that. I'm running out of time. There's not enough time in the week. I wish I had more time. Time keeps getting away from me. I've got 3 hours to kill tomorrow. Pay attention. Is it this adversarial relationship to time? Is that actually how you want to feel about time? Instead, you might say things like, I have time to do whatever I need. I make time for the things that I want. I am time. I create time when I want it. I had one client come up with this mantra that's just brilliant, which is time is a precious resource and I am a time billionaire. All right. Even just saying that, it's like, that feels so good, right? That's such a different way of understanding time or relating to it. And the way that we talk about time is going to impact our experience of it. So pay attention to that. Notice how other people are talking about time. Um, we know that time, the phrase time is money. I think time is power also. So you have some uh, you have some choices in the way that you relate to time. All right. So let me recap these three pillars of personal power: desire, what do I want, and how do I want to feel? Agency, what can I change? Time, how do I want to experience time? In the ritual release and renew experience, we will go into all of these dimensions, giving you space to connect to what it is that you want, giving you space to connect to what it is that you would like to change, and how you have changed things in the past, reviewing the last 3 months, and experiencing time in a completely different way than you do in the rest of the week. So, the experience is 90 minutes. It feels like it is outside of time, and because there is and I'm even struggling to come up with the words for it, even though this is something that I've designed because it feels like magic. It's not magic, but when you really kind of give yourself space to think and breathe and pay attention, time passes at a different rate, and the quality of time feels much different than it does in our day-to-day lives. So, participants have described this as a feeling of luxury, a massage for your brain, right? Something that feels so indulgent and so essential at the same time. It is an opportunity for you to connect to your personal power on these different dimensions, which is uh, really kind of a rejuvenating experience. You might be at the point in the year where you don't remember what you wanted 2022 to be about, okay? Where it feels like things are hard and it's only the end of the first quarter. Um, if that's the case, this is a really great opportunity for you to check in with yourself and recalibrate and realign. So I hope you'll join me there this Saturday. The info is in the comments below. Uh, Reach out if you have any questions. And again, if you can't make it in real time, the recording will be available for a full week. Thank you so much for giving me your time and attention here. I really enjoy these chats. I hope that you enjoy them too. I'd love to know what resonates with you. If you have other pillars of personal power, I'd love to hear those as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.